Okay, let's open the meeting. We'll do our start with the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So everyone's here. We got a quorum tonight, so we'll start out here with the approval of the minutes of August 25th meeting. It was sent out. So is there any additions or corrections to those meeting minutes?
Make a motion to approve.
So we got a motion, and I have a second.
A second.
Adina has second. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, the first thing here I'm going to discuss, we're going to talk about the budget preparation. We've got a few changes, and I guess the first one here we're going to discuss is on the, I think Tammy couldn't make it here tonight, the EMA director.
She's on vacation this week.
Yes. Anyway, she had asked me to carry this through with us. She had met with the commissioners, and they supported this. And what she wants to do, I think what happened down in Ward County, around the Newburgh area, they had that chemical fire or something, and they had no way of alerting people in that area that there was an issue that they had to evacuate. So she's wanting to sign up, and she's done the training for it already. This IPALS, the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System. What it does, it targets iPhones, and it only gets the people that are in the area that they need to contact. So I think we all got this explanation from her, but I guess what we need to do is the cost of this, and she's, like I say, she's already done the training, is $1,800 per year. So we were wanting to add that to our budget, if that's okay, or we would make a show of hands who's in favor of it. But she really thinks this is something that's that we need in the county. So discussions.
I think it should be added. I mean, it's kind of, why hasn't it been done before type thing, if it's been available, which, I mean, we have other, we have sirens and different things like that, but I think this is a good addition to make sure that more people, are alerted to it, ones who can't hear the sirens or for some reason are in a situation where they couldn't hear something otherwise. Most people have cell phones anyway, so, if they get the alert, and that's just one more that, is safe. So I agree. I think we should add it.
Okay. Any other discussion or comments?
I would agree. It's like a really efficient way, yeah.
I think it's a great idea also. So, all right, let's just have a show of hands. Who's in favor of adding that 1,800 to the budget?
We will add.
So that sounds great. So that's in her page, in that emergency management, page 17, it's pagers and alerts. It's alerting service would go from $6,000 to $7,800. Okay, then the next item we had talked about is the health clinic. They're going to start that at the beginning of the year. I guess that's run by Deaconess.
Deaconess at Work is what it's called.
Okay.
And they estimate it'll cost around $120,000 a year, but it should save us on the claim side because anybody who goes there is paid for. So it won't go towards our claims. So I talked with Marky today, and we have $4 million in our health insurance line item. The fixed costs are in there, and he thinks that 120 can be included in that $4 million. Because we're hoping the claims offset the cost. So we don't have to add another line item for the claim.
Okay.
So how many insured employees could potentially go to that?
We have about 240 employees, and anybody that's your dependents too, so.
So am I with the understanding that even some of the drugs that they give you, if you got a sinus infection, they give you
The
the
drugs are
Z-Pack
there
or
as
whatever
well.
they're gonna give you, and that's paid for also,
Yes, yes.
that you don't have to go to the pharmacy.
The cost is $42.11 per employee per month. That's part of our fixed cost, so we're hoping people use it.
Is there any type of reporting that will be in place so we get feedback on how much it is used and what it would
I
save?
believe Marky's gonna get that stuff.
Okay, they can run those reports.
So if every insured family went once, then the average saving was $500 and it would break even. So that seems plausible.
And every employee and their spouse is gonna have to go there for their wellness. So that's automatically one or two per family for the health insurance, if their spouse is on our insurance.
Plus it should be, hopefully, that some's like a walk-in, I mean,
Well, they want you to make an appointment,
Okay.
and they have hours, like, I forget what days or what, but some are evening hours, some are daytime hours. The clinic's supposed to be open 40 hours a week. So you make an appointment and you should be able to go in. I don't know if they're taking walk-ins, I don't remember. I thought they really encouraged you to call and get an appointment.
That's good, I just wondered. Okay, so we're in a kind of agreement there, so, okay, then the next item here is the county administrator. Just for the publics, the past couple of years, members of the county council and commissioners had discussions and performed research on creating a county administrator position for Du Bois County government. A committee consisting of Commissioner Stephen Longo and Blessinger, HR Director Marky Rhodes, and Auditor Sandy Martin and I held various meetings discussing and creating the job description for this position. After many iterations, we have a job description that we would like to propose. In order for the county to move forward, keeping up with the ever-changing requirements necessary to operate government in a more efficient, effective, and safe manner, we need a self-motivated person with vision as our partner in county government. So that was sent to all the council members. What we've done is, I think I sent the job description to everyone, but just for the public and, the major responsibilities of this position are gonna be county development and planning, care and custody of all county property, develop and maintain a unified fleet management system, which, kind of the county garage does that, but there's other departments. We've got, I don't know how many, 5 departments that have vehicles. Assist county department heads with visionary and goal-based management. Assist commissioners implementing the county comprehensive plan. Provide organizational guidance of various state and federal programs. Oversee insurance coverage related to property liability and workman's comp. And that line item there is kind of getting in our pockets, I think with safety and workman's comp, that directly affects every wage dollar we put out if somebody gets hurt on the job. So we also, the safety, he or she would be the county safety coordinator, receive and respond to inquiries and complaints, provide research on private and governmental grants, plan, coordinate, and monitor capital improvement projects. So that's just some of the major items that are in this job description. So, the proposal would be to, if we decide to fund this, would be to have it as a qualified people through a job, just like we would any other job. It would then go in front of the board and to see what kind of candidates we can come up with. it's gonna be as far as the state code is concerned, this is allowed by the state code of, in Indiana, it's a, position that the county commissioners would appoint. And they could, and they work for the pleasure of the commissioners and the council. So if it's funded 1 year and it doesn't work out, then, the job's gonna go away. So, again, I think that's really all I think I've got. So we would have to, if, want to open it up for comments, but that's basically the outline of it.
If it's funded for 1 year, we don't fund it, is that person entitled to workers' comp?
Probably, I think marketing,
If they're an employee, they would be entitled to workers' comp.
But, and they will be an employee.
You mean if you do it for 1 year, you mean unemployment?
If we unfund it, because it's not working out.
I think when you're an appointed person, it's your term, but I'd have to ask them that.
And it would just be year by year then.
Because if you're appointed, it's your term.
the county highway engineer and the county maintenance person at the courthouse, they're appointed positions. Same with the council, our attorney, that's an appointed position.
Highway superintendent, highway engineer, highway clerk, custodian, those are all appointed.
On 1 year terms?
Every year they have.
Well, my opinion would be, as far as moving forward, I think to help drive our initiative, to have that point person would be really valuable.
I'm on the other side of that. I don't think so. I think it's gonna cost way too much. I mean, we were squabbling over a % increase for the employees this last budget time, and when I crunched the numbers, his pay alone, or this person's pay alone, would be about a % of a increase for increase for every person in the county. It just kind of feels rushed to me as well. I mean, we've only been talking about this a little while, so, I don't know. We've added a lot of positions in the last few years, and I think our budget's just getting strained to the point where are we gonna get this money from? I mean, it's, the pay alone with insurance is over 100,000. That's not including a phone, which she's probably gonna need. Maybe a vehicle, because he's gonna have to go between different places, computer, office space. Are we gonna get him an assistant, him or her, I guess, let's say who's gonna be. I just think that this is gonna cost way more than what our budget can withstand. I mean, we've added, I don't have last year's figures for how many positions we've added, but over the last several years, we've added positions that added almost $1 million to our budget. I mean, I don't think it's fiscally responsible to continue to do that, to be quite honest with. I think we can spend the money different ways, to be quite honest.
Well, you bring up good points about the money, but I kind of think about it a little different way, just in it being an investment. I think whenever you have somebody that's able to be dedicated 100% of the time to all areas of the county, I think there's going to be a lot of efficiencies that we can gain. I really believe it'll be an investment. I think it's just really hard initially to get over that. The sticker shock, I guess, if
It
that's
just
maybe
seems
what you're
like
going
all
for.
of the points, all of the job requirements or responsibilities seem to be something that someone's already supposed to be doing, so are we just, I don't know, it just
Sure.
seems like that's already covered. And if that's not being done, then I think we have to ask ourselves, why aren't the employees that are supposed to be doing it not doing it?
Mike, were there any rough projections on the what the improved efficiencies that this position will bring, what it will save or take away from the budget? Is there anybody, I mean, it's so hard to
It's difficult
figure.
to calculate.
I just didn't know if anybody thought that we could trim here, or maybe this position one that no longer exists. I didn't know if that was, anybody went through that, because I haven't personally. I didn't really know where to start.
I think I can answer that in one way, you know, and just like tonight, we're gonna ask for additional money, you know, from the, I guess, the sheriff's department here, you know, on liability insurance. I think between the liability insurance, vehicle insurance, you know, there was a wreck, like the HR director said, there was a wreck with the sheriff's vehicle. You know, that person was supposed to be tested for drugs that nobody ever found out about. You know, those type of things, and workman's comp. I just think we, you know, being involved in a business or owning a business, you know, workman's comp is a huge amount of money. And when somebody gets hurt on the job, and we've had a couple of them happen in different departments, you know, that's just, I mean, that just increases our comp rate. I mean, those type of things where we could oversee, you know, insurance with a safety director. I just think it's something that's one way. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that's the only way.
Then I used to be under the impression, or the belief that a grant writer's worth their weight in gold.
Mhm.
But with the current situation, even on state and, you know, federal level, I don't know if the grants are gonna be quite as available as they were in the past, at least during the COVID era. So I didn't know if anybody thought, you know, if this person could go after these monies here, there, they could pay for their salary quickly, but the question is, are the monies available anymore? So
We already have people doing that, like
individually,
in my office goes for a lot of different safety and those type of grants, and we got Region 15 that, you know, looks for grants as well, so.
yeah, it seems like the position, they have to be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. And sometimes when you get a person like that, maybe they know a little bit about everything, but they're not gonna be an expert in any one department. But like Mike said, the insurance part, that's what I would lean toward. Hopefully they know the most about because of the expense there.
Other discussions or?
I know that I've personally reached out to about 15 counties, the 10 counties that did respond. Every one of them was very satisfied with what the position brought to the county. I think our wages is starting a little below where other wages are even on that. I noticed that. But they cited better working relations and efficiencies within departments. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. The networking that goes on between, and I heard what you said, Doug, about, or some of us not doing our jobs kind of thing, right? And it's, they actually found it easier to work with the county administrator because that was an added voice that worked in and among and around and saw the holistic part of the county and not just our individual pieces, and didn't have that, doesn't have that vote per se, and can just sit back and be very non-committal about anything that's heard, but yet report back on this is what I'm seeing on the ground, this is what I think could better serve, and it's always been received very well, I will say, by the other counties that I talked to. They were very happy with that. Some did cite the grants, well, everybody cited the grants. And they had even gone outside the box to where we look for the traditional government-based grants, and they go outside of that box and network for outside monies as well. So I didn't get any pushback. I just got how, from some of them, some of their job descriptions were a little outdated because they grew within that position and they need to catch up and update their job descriptions. But that was the feedback that I got when I asked. So
What was the population size of the counties? What did it range from?
the smallest one that replied was 31,000, and that was Wabash County. And the most populated that responded was Elkhart, and they had 207. The closest one to us would be, let's see, we're at 43, almost 44,000. I talked to Dearborn County, which is 5,000 more than us. They're extremely happy with their individual. Been in that role for quite a few years. And then Montgomery County is just below us, and they were the same way. They're at 38,000. So we're in that sweet spot there with those particular counties too. And they both pay more than what we're wanting to start with, so.
And I think there's a sense of accountability too, with someone here every day. I think it's easy to have plans and then leave this office as a part-time for a lot of everyone. And then it gets set to the side or it doesn't get done or gets put on back burner. I think for progression and with all these goals we have coming up and our strategic plan being worked on, I think to execute it, we need someone to lead that charge full-time. That's why I see it.
And we've been, I guess, we've been discussing this for, I know 5 years that we've had discussions at the county council meetings and like the meeting we're gonna attend here this week, and a lot of us are, with other counties, how they operate, how they do that. And I think I feel it is a shortfall here that it's some ways that we're not progressing like we should and being involved with some of these decisions that, you just cannot be, commissioners cannot be at every meeting and they, not that this is gonna take, they should still be involved, the commissioners and the council. But I think you've got this other person that can follow up the next day and run, answer, try to get more answers, whatever you want to say. So.
I think it would be good to have one, basically like a liaison person to contact that would probably have all the information and trying to see if this person is that person. And that hopefully they would have all the information we would need, or we have questions, and hopefully they will save us money in the long run, like you said.
When you're trying to do long-term planning,
Yes.
you really have to have somebody that's the continuity, I guess, maybe is the word I'm looking for, continuity.
That's a good word.
So, you still have to, as a county, if we would fund it, we still have to find the right person to do this. That's why I think that the salary is somewhat higher than just administrators. A lot of counties, like some local counties, even have just a secretary just for the council, but I don't think that's necessary here because the auditor's office does, to me, a wonderful job.
Absolutely.
For us, and they get us the information that we need. So I guess what,
The question would be another question, how are we gonna fund this? Where are we gonna get the
well, it would come out of the
hundred
general,
some $1,000?
it'd come out of the general fund. That's really, there's money in the general fund. Just like the $4 million we put in to the healthcare. If not, I think if we would have added funds that we could put into it, if we have to. But it would, right now, I think if we would approve it tonight, it would probably come out of the general fund. And this is no sign, the commissioners, like I said, you still have to find the person. We don't want, I'm not in favor of hiring someone that's just gonna be, a clerk or something, we need somebody, that I looked at a self-motivated, visionary, insightful person, enterprising, those a type of person like that's gonna move the county forward.
So if you had to equate this position to a private company's position, what would you call that role at a private company? What would it be equivalent to?
Chief Administrative Officer? Not a CEO, a
I
CEO.
didn't think CEO, they wouldn't be doing the
No, I know.
go for work.
I know. And
I'm just trying to.
I think
in
it's
my mind.
difficult because we are so different than the private world. I think it's
I
hard
don't
to
know,
come up with
I'm
one person.
asking, I don't know.
Yeah.
Good question.
I mean, it is adding another layer of bureaucracy, and it's a little hypocritical for me to sit here and say, yeah, I don't know if we can give the people that turn the wheels a raise because of budget constraints, and then we create someone that's, I don't want to call him a king, but kind of like a CAO or a
That was just my thought. I'm not saying that's what it is. Yeah.
CFO role in a very fiscally uncertain time.
You know,
I'm not denying anything that you've laid out, any of you guys. I just,
We may be surprised at some of how I alleviate things.
if I can see the
Which
efficiencies
is
of
John's
what
I'm
we're
just very, very concerned that we've had financial concerns the past couple of months
Sure.
and uncertainties, and other departments have come to us and asked for adding positions, and we've said no several times, and now we're gonna come up and just add another position that's kind of, like you said, another layer of bureaucracy. I don't know if now is the time that we should be doing this with the uncertainty, costs. Just in my opinion, and you guys have your own opinions on it, I know it could save us money, but I'm gonna go back to saying, it seems like those tasks, those duties are already being done by people, and I know maybe it could be done more efficiently, but with all this uncertainty with what we're gonna get the next couple of years from the state,
And I think you hit it the nail on the head. It just depends on the person you get. You really don't know until they get in the role, what kind of seasoned individual is gonna take a good pay, but if they're that experienced to be super good, that really does, when you hire a C-suite executive, you want about 2 times their salary output to justify the big salaries, and we may get that, we may not. That's where I'm hung up. I mean, we could get a guy out of college that's green, or we could get someone that ran a company that's just looking for a role to retire into. I don't know. It's gonna be I know we do our due diligence when we hire, so it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of people will apply for this job at the rate that we offer.
A lot of our positions are highly specialized. That's kind of what county government is. So I agree, you could be the right person, but I guess you don't know until you put that flag out there and look for it.
I mean, we did a little research on, Jasper, I mean, they got a county development and planning person. That person, you can look it up yourself, but I mean, it's 80,000 roughly. Same way, but they got a safety director that's making the same, so, I mean, look at the overhead they got. Our budget is somewhat more than theirs, and we've got we've got a basically more population to operate than they do. It's not a whole lot of difference, but our population of our county is, that we're responsible for, I shouldn't say, because they're responsible for their citizens. So I mean, I don't think, I didn't feel the wage was out of line in any way, shape, or form when you compare it to next door.
No, it's not. It's just if you can get the type of person that can meet all the requirements that this job has, that's willing to take that pay and be worth the darn. That's what I'm concerned about. I know the labor market's a little soft, so you may get some people that surprise you that apply. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, managing properties and a fleet schedule. I mean, they're gonna have to kind of know a lot of different trades. And,
But I guess when you say that, I'm gonna ask you then, how's that being done now efficiently?
well,
that's what I can't
Department
understand.
heads, they specialize in their departments, and I feel like they have the best feel for it.
But this is the overseer. I don't think they're gonna, they got responsibility to do that, to oversee that. But I don't know if, they're gonna create every fleet, fleet, I think it's fleet management, it's not fleet. Because we come in here and we spend, $250,000 on police cars every year that we don't know. 2 of them are sitting out there wrecked and we don't even know anything about them. That's the thing that's disappointing to me, where if we had a person that could follow up and be able to report to the council.
How would that change it though?
Yeah,
Because
that sounds like a communication problem.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like, I don't see how that would change, that we have 2 wrecked cars.
There's a protocol for wrecks, I'm
Yeah,
sure of it.
Like each department, that would be something where I go back to the department and the department head should be managing that and their vehicles in there underneath them.
The city of Huntingburg has a very strict protocol for wrecks. I don't know what the county's procedure is, maybe it varies by department, especially since it's a sheriff's car, but.
any other comments, or, it's about like any other budget line item to me, we're not creating the position, we're funding it if it is on and filled, I guess.
I would still support it. I think we need it, and I think the savings in the long run and the growth, what it would bring to the county will outweigh the negatives.
So are we ready to show of hands, or anybody else want to comment? Hearing none, who's all in favor of funding that position for that amount of money? It's 5-2, so. I'll let the commissioners know tomorrow, they can decide if they want.
That would go under their budget.
Right.
Well, I gotta know by this weekend how much to put in the budget.
Well, you got
I can't wait
you
for the
got
commissioner
them,
meeting.
you were on that email, that's what we're gonna.
And the commissioners, and so then I gotta change FICA and perf and all that. to go
Right,
with that.
right.
And
And if it's not filled, then it goes, we just don't spend it, if the position isn't
and
filled.
then I'm gonna also have to, are we gonna include computers and desks and office space, because we don't have anything like that right at the moment.
I think no, not at this point, we'd be guessing. Let's fill the position and have an additional appropriation, what we need. The discussion was not to have a vehicle, that would be mileage. And most of the departments, it's not a huge amount of mileage. So,
So they'd be paid out of commissioner's travel?
that's what I would suggest, yes. So would we have to bump that up?
So I'm wondering, is if this person goes to conferences and all that, you need more for that as well?
I think
Commissioners have 8,000 in their travel.
again, if this, is this something we want to balloon up the budget? Or do we want to wait till we get the person and see what the budget and have an additional appropriation? That would be my,
Well, I guess that's what I'm asking, because,
I don't want to, I don't think the commissioners ever use all their travel and training.
yeah, I guess it just depends who travels and where they go and when.
Because like this year, there's only one person going to the road show there, or
Right.
whatever. So I would suggest we leave it alone for the right now, and if we run into that budget problem, we can. I don't want to create any more work because it may not get filled.
I got one question. Is there any licensing or certifications that anybody mentioned that they want to?
This,
It could be anything I didn't know.
We never discussed it. There's a state statute that says that the commissioners can hire an administrator. appoint an administrator.
I have.
I know, I just didn't know if like specifically like the highway department, they went to road school at Purdue just so they know more to help with. I'm thinking of stuff that people get licensed in or have certifications in. And I didn't know if you guys mentioned anything specifically that you wanted to be well versed in.
There's the statute, if you can see.
I would,
They don't have to be certified in
That was just an example. I thought, I mean, there's all kinds of things, you know. I didn't know if you guys discussed that.
I would tend to think we would lean on the county engineer for those type
For,
of.
yeah, for that example.
I mean, you know, you can't be proficient in everything.
Well, the engineer has to go to road school to keep up the certification. I wonder, would that be the same with this position?
I would say no. This is a,
No, I wouldn't look at any. And for anybody that wants to look up the code, it's Indiana Code 36-2-2-14. County Administrator, appointment powers, duties, vacancy. So,
Did you ask any of those counties if they had zoning that had that position, or most of those zoning counties are not?
I did not ask that question.
Because I feel like in this role, that role would be really beneficial if you had zoning in a county, but since we don't, I didn't know.
Sandy, did you need anything else there? Okay, so the next thing here is the regional sewer district financial update. Back in, this seems like a long time ago, and it is, but we had a, Baker Tilly was appointed to be the financial arm of, or do the financial work for the sewer district, for the sewer discussions, I should say. We didn't really have districts set up yet, but anyway, that was back in November 8th of 2022. The council appropriated $45,000 out of ARPA funds to pay for that financial advice. So we had Baker Tilly's been continuing to work on the cost of the project and how that would relate to the monthly billing of the Hayesville portion of the to get the sewer down here from the Hayesville portion of the sewer. So we got an invoice, I guess, on September 22nd of $5,370. And we do not have that much money left out of that 45,000. We're about, I think we've only got like roughly $1,800 or something like that. So we're gonna need to appropriate, we're gonna need to at least appropriate that amount of, I think it's $5,370 tonight. Or should we, they work on a T&M basis and they're continuing to work with the city of Jasper to try to come up with a treatment cost rate to tap into Jasper sewer. And I think during the negotiation, we had a meeting on, I guess, September 4th. And Jasper still, I think the agreement they want is they want us to pay for a portion of that plant, which is preliminarily was $4.5 million. So we're trying to get them to, trying to negotiate with that and have them come up with a cost to treat it and a fair amount to help pay for our portion of that plant. So I would like to, I think what we did is in the past 3 years, we kind of put $15,000 a year back. That's kind of what we appropriated or thought about on a T&M basis. So what I'd like to do is at least appropriate $15,000 to pay for this outstanding invoice of $5,370. And then, that would give us some leeway for them to continue negotiation with Jasper.
Who's Baker Tilly giving updates to? Like, I mean, are they doing anything?
They give it, they've been giving financial advice through this whole thing, they come up with plans. Mary.
Remember Mary?
She
They used to come in.
I know, I feel like I
Like,
haven't
they
seen
haven't come
them.
in in like
That's it.
forever. So,
well, it's expensive, I looked it up here, it's 300 and, this bill was about $370 an hour, so we don't really, they're willing to talk to us at any time, we can get them on the phone and talk to us, but we don't really know at this point where we're going with this, and I'm gonna have you talk about it too. Daryl Schmidt was was our council representative for that, well, he's gone, so Dina has taken over. So we're kind of in limbo here, it hasn't moved because the cost is so great. How can they, and I want to share that with the council, but it's just, can we even afford it? And we don't know the cost yet. So how can, what I'm saying, Doug, I'm just trying to, I want to get you that information, but we don't really have a whole lot. It don't take a lot of hours to rack up $5,000 worth of bills here. So that's why we don't really try to talk to them that much.
just kind of an email update or something like that, just like a brief summarization of what's been going on.
Yeah.
Like it's the only updates we've been hearing are what you're letting us know, Mike, and I think that's,
That's
for the money that we're paying them to kind of do this, I think that an email synopsis of what's been going on would be nothing out of.
Right, I would expect something this next month, something to roll. I know the city of Jasper has been making plans for their new plant and all the costs that are involved there, as well as they're going to accept the sewage right from Hayesville. The plan or the project was supposed to include Portersville. And I think that was about the time I joined, that got skinny down. So our costs keep moving, and I don't think any of us expected really to receive any grant money this year. I was really surprised because I had talked to a host of agencies, and not one time did I get anything or positive feedback on that. So I was elated that we did get some money. But again, we've skinny down the project just to include Hayesville. So that reduced the project costs. And now in process of working with the city of Jasper and trying to hone out a fair value for both parties. I don't think the county wants to be directly in the sewer business. So the city of Jasper already has their accredited individuals working the system already. And if we can contract with them to do those lift station inspections that are required weekly or however frequency it is, that they can work with us on that and partner with us also maybe on the billing as well.
What would you think the biggest holdup is? Is it negotiating the plant? Is it figuring out the design? Is it mid-stage corridor going who knows where? I mean, why?
What's the funding of the whole?
Because the needle just never moves.
Yeah,
It's just always
I
here.
know, it's bouncing around, I know. And I think we're so close right now to knowing where the costs are going to fall. I mean, we've got our design, our engineers are still working on the final designs and doing easements, that kind of thing. So it's really contingent upon where the city of Jasper falls with their costs and expenses in all of this, and what they feel that our capacity usage from this project will take up their plant space. So that's what we're looking at right now. But yeah, I would expect something to fall this next month. It's been, Mike, about a month now?
We had a meeting in September with the city of Jasper for it. It was a Teams meeting, it's been frustrating for all of us. I mean, really, I wish I feel kind of bad in some ways because, not to be able to keep the council involved with this because it's so much money. And, and we still, before we can, once we get the cost in, then we're gonna have to come to the council. Are we gonna fund this for, and can we afford to do it? Because you can't, the big challenge is, we've got numbers, but I mean, it's like $200 or $300 a month for each customer. Now, who's gonna pay that kind of sewer bill at your house? So that's why they're trying to work it down, skinny it down to try to see, can we get this to $100 or $125 a month? Otherwise we won't have anybody hook up, and we're sticking all this money in. So I mean, like you say, I'm hoping by November that we can have a meeting with Baker Tilly and the engineer and sit in front of the council again and explain it to us, and it's gonna fall on our shoulders. Are we gonna to go in debt? I mean,
$200 is a lot of money to pay for sewer, and I would be interested to see what the residents would think and what they would hook up for. I mean, $150 a month.
Well, we were just made legitimately early on that it would be much less than that.
Yes.
And so
Much
it does, it feels like very.
For $200 a month.
There was all these grants and all this stuff that was gonna pay for the majority of it, and then that just kind of seemed to,
try out.
I mean, I would say that it,
poof, went away here all of a sudden, and now we're just.
if we're sitting here thinking it's gonna be $200 a month for sewer, I mean, I would be like, that's so
Well,
unrealistic.
That's not acceptable.
And we would throw this plan out.
I don't know. I doubt people just for sewer would be $150 a month. That's still for that area.
I mean,
For that.
The state of SRF says between 100 and 125 is what they look at. I mean, statewide, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We'd be cheaper just putting half a septic in for them.
Well, that's exactly right.
I mean, I'm serious.
Upgrade everybody's.
Upgrade the septics. It's just.
But like I said, we're trying to get the information out. It's not like we're holding it back. We don't have it ourselves.
Yeah.
I feel,
Well, I think we
I'm
can
not
somehow put some
saying
pressure on.
against you guys not getting the information, I'm just.
Right, and I've been talking to some other regional sewer districts just to find out where they're falling on rates, how their agreements work, who does what, do they have interlocal agreements with a city that's accepting sewage, do they have their local plants, do they have grinders, do they have, and it's all over the board, all over. I can't find it. I was trying to find somebody that was closer match, and then I was reminded when I was having just a local conversation that I actually attested to an agreement over down in Spencer County on extending sewer lines outside of the town. So that was just a little blast from the past.
And then would that just be a minimum payment? What happens in the summertime? Do you use more water? Like, would that water bill go up to $300?
And there's a whole lot of different ways you
Yeah.
can structure that, from tap ins and how you do that and how things get prorated. There just really is a lot of ways. We aren't that far along yet because we really need to know where closer we stand with Jasper right now on their expectations and what they can bear.
and they've applied, I mean, we did get in the fundable range of what, what our thing is, but Jasper did not. So see, how are they gonna build a new plant, So I mean, they're looking at their funding, so that's why it's just a lot of balls in the air right now.
But do we continue to pay these guys or?
Well,
do we have to continue to
We're
pay?
under contract with the designers, with Clark Deeds. We've got the contract, we've got the money appropriated, it's ARPA funds. But we're supposed to be,
It's gotta be spent by the end of next year.
so,
Well, it seems like it's all gone. We've done that. right?
No,
There's still quite a bit left,
There's some left.
900,000.
$900,000. But that doesn't get us construction.
That's just
that doesn't-
It's just the design.
You really don't wanna let them go and start over. I mean, you could,
If we can get all the costs in line and on paper to present it, then I think the council can make a decision. Do we, we have to get it down to $100 $100 or whatever, or slightly over $100 a customer per month, then, you know, the more you do that, the more you subsidize. So the more our debt's gonna go up. And what we have to pay, then how do you don't make money on sewer. You sell, you know, it's a service more or less. You're not gonna make a lot of money on it.
That's right. You know, and we were able to help out, was it Birdseye?
Yeah.
With theirs, and I was really pleased that we were able to do it for that community. Hayesville, you know, it's just been struggling for decades with this contamination issue there. It's environmental, you know, for that community, which is what keeps me involved in this project, honestly. It's for health. So I'm very conscious when it comes to what we are spending and where we spend it and where we need to go with it. I don't want to throw money out when it's just going to go down a deep hole. That's not where I want this to go at all. I think everybody needs to be updated, and I know where we are today. We just don't have those dollars to present to you and say, here's what we are. And the Hayesville community should also have a say-so in what happens. So there's a few, you know, some communication
Have
efforts.
the residents received any updates of any kind?
Not to my knowledge.
Not since those initial meetings that were held at the church and
Yeah,
that we attended.
I know that there was a survey that went out. I've gone back through all those records to see what I could uncover there. And I did see they were all surveyed, and it came back very, very positive on they wanted sewers. So beyond that, I don't think there was anything new that I found anyway.
Thanks for all your work on that.
Well, sure.
It's a lot.
Okay, so
It just got passed back, yeah. Anybody want to look at it afterwards?
George, wasn't it?
So I guess,
I think it was Sandy's maybe.
what's
Yeah,
our,
I think I was Sandy's.
what's our feeling? Well, you know, he's continuing to work on it, Baker Tilly is now. So, I mean, it's kind of, if we just approve and advertise for additional appropriation for November, that's not, they're gonna have another bill. So that's why I was thinking if would it be acceptable to the council if we would advertise for $15,000? At least it would get us to a certain point here.
Out of the ARPA fund?
No, there's no ARPA
No
funds
more,
left. So I mean, this would have to come out of edit probably.
I mean, if we do that, I would like them to know the pressure that we're feeling, and would like them to know that we would like to put a little pressure on this, because this has been dragging on. I just feel like at some point we gotta pull the plug or move forward, or
I think, and this is just, I told Mike this, when we first allocated 45,000 in the ARPA, we thought we'd be underground or in construction now. We never dreamed we'd be still on. So I think that's part of the reason why we're needing more money, because it's going on longer than we thought.
And there's been so many, again, changes and, you know, that's happened, you know, when Mary was here the first few years, well, I mean, it's like,
I thought it'd be done by
yeah,
now.
we would, right.
I mean, we
Exactly.
honestly thought that.
You know, and.
But is it our fault that we were misled, is my point, and how long will we continue to be misled? So we
Well,
do it, but I think we gotta start, enough's enough at some point.
I feel your pain, I feel it worse than you. I do, I feel it worse than you do.
I don't think we thought when we first started this, that we'd have to be negotiating with Jasper on building a new. I thought we were gonna pump it and process it down there.
That was an option.
So,
Well, they were gonna take it and send it to the Jasper
right,
plant
so
because they
I
had
think things have
capacity.
changed over the last 5-6 years.
So,
Well, I mean, I feel like we gotta ride it out now. I mean, we're in it, but let's just, I would think we'd try to somehow.
well, I mean, again, it's T&M and we, that's why we don't bring, you know, Baker Tilly down here. You know, we always do a Teams meeting and, you know, so he can, you know, he dedicates a half hour to it. I think when you look at the billing. So, but I mean, I think, you know, we're cutting ourselves short here if we don't at least put some money additional in there, because this is the important part of it right now, trying to figure out, can we afford it? without them, I don't want
Because I don't think we could proceed without it, their advice on the finances.
there's.
Well, I would totally agree. It just seems that the advice we're getting, we're so far off that there's no way we can afford it anyways.
But it's not really Baker Tilly that's giving us bad advice. They're feeding the advice that the contractor, or the design company and the changes that have been made to this, because we're dependent on Jasper taking the sewer.
Yeah.
The sewage,
The finance authority, that's kind of all plays into it.
Right, applying for that SRF money, and we did get $1 million grant, but $1 million isn't,
Very much when you got,
Where does that sit, like that money, while
IFA still has it.
Okay.
we have to move on, otherwise they're gonna give it to another entity.
and is there a time
I don't-
straight on that, sorry?
Do you remember what the date is? I mean, it's
If not
coming.
by this,
I
then
do
this, or,
not know what that start date is.
But they're gonna work with us as long as it's next April, maybe?
It's into next
It's
year.
next April. But if we decide as a council that we're not gonna fund this, then they're gonna give it the $1 million to someone else.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them.
no,
So it's difficult. There's
A lot of fingers in it,
There is, and
things coming from different ways.
but I guess what I would advise the council, I think we ought to put out $15,000 if we don't use it, we don't use it. It's not like a contract,
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it would be silly to not finish it, but just note the frustration.
at least get the information that we can make a decision on.
Frustration noted.
We're just for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's another
so you're
50?
not gonna start over.
So let's have a consensus on advertising for 15 for next month.
And I'll take it out,
I think
Edit money.
which to me is the appropriate place to take it.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so why don't we go into the regular meeting appropriations? Then I've got a couple other little things here.
Okay. In the general fund, I need $4,000 for building insurance, vehicles, and liability. I keep getting insurance bills and I keep paying them,
So we need to vote on each one of these, right?
yes,
Do we need a motion?
yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the 4,000.
Okay, we got a motion, we have a second.
I will second.
Dina seconded, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
In the general fund for the sheriff, he needs $18,000 for sheriff computer support.
Okay, we kind of discussed this last meeting. Because we did, when we upgraded the facility there, they got a lot of new computers. I don't know why this is, but I guess he asked for it. He asked.
It's in the minutes, you'd see him over there, I don't.
So anyway, I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, Ryan has made a motion. May I have a second?
A second.
Alex seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
On the highway, I think he was here talking about how he needed equipment repairs, $60,000.
And that's coming out of the highway.
It's coming out of the highway.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't exactly know what broke there, but
They got a couple of parts that they need to purchase as well as fix the, is it something to try out or, I don't know what these things are.
discussion on that.
I'll make a motion to approve 60.
So we got a motion on the floor to approve the 60,000. We have a second.
I'll second.
Meredith is seconded. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
Firearms training, I think Hayes is here talking about, purchasing more ammo.
Yeah.
Tasers, holsters, things like that.
Okay.
$13,547.
Discussion? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion to approve 13,547.
We have a motion on the floor, may I have a second?
Second.
Alex seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
The community transition program at Community Corrections, is asking for $11,574, for two different things. One's the wireless access point, so they can have more coverage in the building, and for 9 Surface tablets that need to be replaced because of the Windows 11 upgrade.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Doug seconded. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
You guys passed the ordinance for the courthouse monument maintenance fund, the POW MIE lighting. We did receive a donation from the VFW that collected money to help the Eagle Scout. And so now they've requested that we put lights on it, and Scott has a quote for right under $1,200. So $1,200 out of the courthouse monument maintenance fund.
And that was all approved by the commissioners also, so entertain a motion to approve that $1,200.
Make a motion.
A second.
Kirk has made a motion, and Ryan has seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
And the last one, out of Lit Ed, $500,000 for employee health insurance.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ryan has made a motion and Sonia has seconded. So discussion. Otherwise, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
And then we've got 3 transfers. In the general fund, under the weights and measures, he would like to transfer $200 from other services with conferences and put them into supplies.
So,
Need a motion to do that?
Yes, sir.
I'll make the motion to approve the transfer of the $200.
so we got a motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
Meredith seconded, so all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
Okay. The next 2 are for community corrections. The first one is, he would like to take from the general fund maintenance for community corrections. He'd like to take $6,000 from utilities and put it in maintenance supplies.
So, any question on that? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve that transfer, $6,000.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Ryan has made a motion, we have a second.
Okay.
So, who else? Sonia, okay. Sonia seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
And he would like to take $4,000 from utilities in the maintenance and put it into the part-time maintenance, persons line item. At the beginning of the year, you guys increased the salary, but we didn't increase the line item, and now we're short, so, or we're gonna be short.
Then what would be short of utilities?
He says not, because this other fund pays more on utilities than this one.
Okay, so I'll entertain,
Jail side pays more than the
Yeah, I think it's all right. It's kind of
I
under.
think we were guessing and I'm
Well, the sheriff's, I think the sheriff of the jail part is higher than utilities part. I think they're paying more of it since it's kind of under metered different.
I'll make a motion to approve that transfer.
Okay, $4,000. So got a motion on the floor. May I have a second?
Second.
Alex seconded. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Anyone opposed?
All I have.
So, the last thing I'm gonna kind of think is, what I want to discuss tonight is, you know, a couple of you, I guess a lot of you weren't here when this, when the county put together, you know, the pay scale, and we changed it from, it used to be, it used to give everybody a 25 cents an hour raise at the end of the year, or the beginning of the year. So things have changed, and the three of the council, four of the council members, you know, went to the IU school, Kelly School of Business, and helped put together the format that we use here. And I just want to make sure everybody has that copy, you know, sees where it's coming from. And, you know, we were, and then I got this two all out here. I tried to put together something here. I tried to put together like a little thing to discuss here tonight, and it's pay structure review and discussions. The council needs to review and possibly update the county pay scale. Should the future pay include COLA, you know, cost of living, which we kind of do, merit-based pay increases, classification pay increases, longevity pay increases, and other methods. It has been requested that, you know, during our annual budget hearings that we look into longevity pay increase for employees. You know, I think, you know, that was brought up a couple times, and it's brought up a lot of other times, I'm sure, to all of us. You know, how do we move forward with this? I would like the county members to review the current pay structure that was put in place in 2017-18 timeframe with assistance from the IU Kelly School of Business. It may be in need of update. Copy of the current classifications we passed out here. Some council members are attending the EIC conference this week. It would be a great opportunity to have discussions with your peers. So how do other counties do it? It's just, it's difficult, and, you know, for us just to, I think our biggest, one of the biggest complaints I hear, and you probably hear them too, when you look at our scale here, you know, they say you're hired in at this rate, but you never move. You know, it's hard, it's difficult to move. How can we, as a council, improve that process And that's why I thought if we could, you could check, your current workplace, other businesses and government agencies and think outside the box. How could we make this better? So I would like, at our October meeting, I'd like for you all to maybe come up with some written comments that we could kind of then maybe break apart in committees and sit down with the HR director and possibly actually with the auditor's office and see, how can we make this better or improve it? So that's why I handed it out tonight. I just, I don't know the answer, but, I think, like Doug made a good point there, we create positions, we give a 2% raise. We did raise some people up, that we thought maybe deserved more, but how do we do this in a more consistent manner?
Yeah, because right now they have to, or in the past, they were able to petition, I guess, for
Yeah.
a pay increase and prove it to us or something like that.
And
It seems like it caused more work, unnecessary work, than if we had a system in place where it could be just automatic, where they had these matrix, this is what it would be if they didn't meet these, this is what it would be. Not that they would be penalized, but it's just not as much if you have, reward people that perform well or go above and beyond.
and a lot of,
Provide.
you're right. I mean, my other thought was most, like the city of Jasper, and a lot of other places have longevity pay of some kind. It's built in. So I think let's just, I wanted to get it on the table here, and I think some people hadn't even really couldn't understand how this was done. This, I think when, Charmaine Clem, she kind of drove this a little bit with the help of others. But, this was more on a government type basis, these CPOL and CONOT and all that. And she, I did help her, I think, but that's when we were just coming into office.
Charmaine and Craig really kind of were the ones that were involved,
Right.
really, in figuring out what it would be the next time and doing all the work for it,
And I think talking to Charmaine, the idea was to interview and have people come up but it got to be like an all-day affair just to go through the things. And I've got them at home if anybody wants to see them, how we did that. But I mean, it took hours and hours to go through them. And then it still puts the council, as the final.
Exactly.
I mean, we are the final decision makers, but it puts us, the pressure on us then,
I mean, that one year, there was, 20, 30 people?
I think it's more than that.
Probably more than that. It took, I remember taking it on my vacation and sitting on the beach, just like looking through all these requests for, and reasons and all that stuff. It took hours and hours just to look through a couple of them, so.
How long was the process whenever the group took this on with IU? How long did this whole process take in studying all this?
You might know that 6 months, 6-8 years.
I think it was a fall class.
Yeah.
That took it on.
Okay.
It
And it was
took,
a year-long project, it sounds like, or,
Well, they did it in the class all fall, and then it took that spring
to
to
finish
finish it,
it.
and the next year into the budget.
so I think the basis of it is still good. It's just, how do we improve it? How do we get the person to be able to move up in the category? Maybe we got the categories too big, or too much spread in the categories.
I didn't know until this last budget cycle, being that was my first budget cycle. I didn't know that the wage ranges, the low and high, also was adjusted every year by the rate. So I can understand where an employee feels like they can never make it more higher in their wage range, and I totally get that. I'm still a big believer in merit. I think if you do and go above and exceed the requirements for your job, I think you're entitled to a raise within the county's means, right? Longevity pay, I'll come out and say early, I am not a fan of that at all. I don't think that an employee is entitled to more pay just because they've been here 5 years, 10 years, whatever. I think recognitions are good. I don't know what the bonus situation is. I don't know if that's allowable or not.
We have no
these
bonus.
days. No bonuses. I didn't know if Board of Accounts even allowed that. You know, something to recognize that longevity, I think is very good. But by and large, I don't see longevity as being very effective.
In a way, I tend to agree a little bit, but I also feel that people that have been here longer have more knowledge of how things have been going and have more background and can do their job, I think, quicker, easier.
Which
You
is
know.
why we shouldn't hire people in at the wage they're making. They should be hired in lower, you know, on that wage scale.
And that is the issue we see. You fight for a position to get a higher wage, and then they leave, and the next person just steps right there.
In that
Yeah.
position.
We see it all the time.
Yeah. So like you and I are saying the same thing, we just come out of computer.
Yeah,
science.
it's how do we reward the people that have been here longer that just do have the more knowledge?
Which
And
is usually that parent base.
It's usually.
And sometimes that's a longevity in, not called longevity. You have like a first year pay, a 5-year pay. It's longevity, but it's built in to reward you for your knowledge.
But I feel like we almost have to put something in there if we wanna do that, well, they don't have a choice but to start out at a lower pay. Like you said, some departments just automatically start at the top. And unless we put some sort of, rule in there that they just can't,
Well, there has to be some sort of structure. right?
yes.
Structure is you
absolutely.
start at the bottom and then as you go on, you're evaluated,
Right,
merit-based,
I mean,
on certain criteria, certain key points of the job that you're doing.
correct, and we've suggested
Yeah.
that throughout the years, it just doesn't necessarily happen. So I feel like there almost has to be something stated that this is how it's going to work.
And this,
And does it have to go through marking? That, no, or does it have to go through us or something that you can't just start them out at the top right away?
and this problem isn't just a government problem or our problem that happens in the private industry also all the time. I've seen it before and I think it will happen again going forward. I've always been a fan of knowing about where you can raise your departmental budget. And that would include salaries and wages. I think the department heads are better than us at determining who's exceeded their qualifications or who's really in line for that next raise based upon performance. And as long as they're within that budget, I don't think I want to get my fingers in there and mess with it because they work with them every day.
But how are they gonna justify that then? Just say, oh, I'm gonna give this person a 2% raise, give this person a 1% raise. There has to be some sort of justification
But
or
that's,
part of the evaluation of, hey, this person.
yeah,
But then
that's,
then the department heads have to actually
yes,
do
they
that.
do.
You have to actually perform those
But when you
evaluations.
only get
and justify.
2%, it's very difficult to say they're not worth what they get.
Right. Yeah.
Because I can't function without those 6 ladies over there.
I agree.
Mhm.
I think we'll have a good discussion. I think people sleep on it a little bit and really, that's a great discussion to have.
let's try to put it in writing, that we can share our notes and then we can divide it up into, if we want to do 2 committees again and sit down. I think that brainstorming really helps us all, so, so I appreciate everybody's help on that, I would, so.
Thank you for this update. I appreciate that.
I don't think I have anything else, so for the good of the order. Anybody?
I just want to remind everybody, the public hearing is on Tuesday, October 14th at 6 PM.
That's our next meeting.
So that's-
That's your next meeting. It won't last long, it's just a public hearing for the 5 different budgets you adopt.
Okay,
And then the adoption will be on October 27th at the regular meeting at 4:30.
thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn if you want.
Any other discussion? Okay, we got a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Now, I still go run and come in.
There was no.
Yeah, just checking somebody new or drug sport. I wonder if they're going to get checked. Try to fill that role.
That's true.
Everybody.